Well, hello, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you right now on WFMY Plus. What we're going to do here over the next 10 or 15 minutes or so is get you all squared away. What's happening with our severe weather? Where are the storms? Where are they going? And what do you need to do about it? This is a threat that's going to continue a couple of more hours as we go into the evening. It's not a guarantee that you will have a really bad storm tonight. A lot of us might just get okay with just some downpour rain and a little bit of thunder. But through about 10 o'clock this evening, that's when we're watching this possibility of scattered showers and thunderstorms, hail, wind being the biggest risk in some of those. We haven't seen a lot of wind so far today. We have seen a good amount of hail, mostly just falling in our foothill communities so far today. So over the next little bit here, make sure to keep the rain gear close by if you have to be out. If you're just at home, well, you can just sit back and relax and track it on the go with your News 2 app and stream the coverage here on WFMY Plus. So I'm going to be treating this somewhat like we do severe weather coverage, where we're back and forth between the radar and we're able to give you those constant street level updates. So starting things off here, this would be your Winston-Salem live camera, and this is right about 6:30. Okay, so we're looking at some sprinkles and light rain showers kind of moving toward us. The sky pretty dark as it approached from the west. We saw a couple of darker clouds. A shelf cloud even started to move in. There's nothing wrong with this rain though at all. Winston-Salem, you're doing pretty well with this, and I'm not expecting any severe weather with this initial burst. High Point, similar story here. It's just a cloudy sky. There's really nothing bad going on at the moment. Rain has not yet begun, but it's close. It should start to sprinkle or lightly rain in High Point really over the next 15 to 20 minutes. We do all have a severe weather threat though going through the afternoon and evening. Notice this pinkish color on the screen. What that is, it's a severe thunderstorm watch, and it does run all the way through about midnight tonight. I'm mostly expecting that our weather threat from this will be over by around 10 o'clock. So hopefully a lot of this can be canceled for our area a little bit early. That tends to be the case when they issue a big watch. They put that expiration time really far into the future just to kind of cover the bases. But either way, make sure you're staying weather alert and weather aware through the next couple of hours, and we'll have all those updates for you accordingly. Now, the latest radar, boy, is it busy. I'll tell you, if you're in Burlington, Asheboro, Greensboro, this probably takes you a little bit by surprise because the weather is doing just fine in the Triad at the moment, but it's very, very busy out to the west here. You can see a couple of different severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what these yellow boxes indicate on the screen here. Not a ton of lightning right about here, but it does vary along the line. So I'm going to go north to south on this line and track all of those storms for you and how they're moving toward us. Now, they're moving very slowly, only at about 15 to 20 miles per hour. And that slow movement, what I'm expecting is that it's actually weakening these lines a little bit. You see how the rain here is just rain, no thunder or lightning or hail across southern Forsyth County right now. You're doing pretty well. So the heaviest action in Forsyth right now as we zoom in is right near Union Cross. So right where I-40 is here, and it splits off going over to High Point. Union Cross is seeing some of the heavier rain, but this is just a little bit of a downpour. There's nothing bad about it at this time. You can see it's a little bit heavier right along Watkins Ford Road and Union Cross Road too, but this is kind of the way it is. Now it's moving slowly off to the east, approaching Guilford County next. So some of the first rain of the day for Guilford County, that'll be approaching from Kernersville, going closer toward the Palladium over in High Point area, and really over toward Colfax as well. If we zoom out the view a little bit more, you can notice where it's already raining as well. Parts of Davidson County, Lexington, Arcadia, welcome. You're starting to get a little bit of rain, but there's not really much other than that. Now over to Moxville we go. This is where there is a bit of a thunderstorm happening at this time. But the fact that this is all turned into a big blob area of rain and not individual, smaller, tighter thunderstorms, that's good news. It's good news because what we're seeing is that it's not likely that these will be able to produce that really large hail. When you have those smaller, tighter thunderstorms that are way out on their own with the sunshine, you can get those really strong gusts of wind and the larger hailstones to form a little bit easier. A little bit of a closer view for you though while we have you here in Davie County. There's Moxville, here's I-40, 601, Maine, Bixby, Fork. You have those heavy rain showers. It's just kind of a steady torrential rain at the moment, and there are probably about a dozen or so lightning strikes. We can count them for you here. Looks to be about 10 lightning strikes right now just within the last 15 minutes. in Davie County. If we widen out the view a little bit more, let's kind of show you where our warnings are at this time. There's a blanket warning. What I mean by that, they saw this storm, that storm, that storm, and they just decided we're going to put a big box around all three of them. That's fine. That's fair to do because all of them are pretty similar across Surrey County, Stokes, Patrick County, Virginia, and up to Martinsville as well. These storms have been producing some hail. So if we put the warning on here for you, this is in effect until about 7:15. It does include Martinsville, Patrick, Stokes, Surrey, and Yadkin. Not much wind reported in this line, but there is some hail. So hail upwards of about 1 inch is possible if you're in any of those counties. And again, that's happening right now. So let's zoom into where it's a little bit strong. This is where it was really coming down in Surrey County along 601 and 268 from Copeland over to Dobson 2. You had some hail earlier. Right now, it started to weaken a little bit. Farther off to the north, though, I want to keep an eye on this. This is up near Westfield and Mount Airy. That's a bit of a storm that has an interesting shape to it. Really heavy rain on the north side of Westfield. Mount Airy, not so much downtown, but a little bit of action going on off to your east. We just saw a live lightning strike happening on screen right along the North Carolina and Virginia border, and that rain is coming down at a good clip. Right now, not anticipating a ton of hail with it. If we look at our hail tracks over the last couple of hours, really a little bit of hail has been indicated in Surrey County, but not all that much. Storm reports for this area. You know, earlier we did have a little bit of hail falling in Dobson from the same storm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this, how much hail has been falling in that area? It looks like we've been seeing about an inch, hail size about 1 inch, so dime to quarter sized amounts in that Dobson area. Just a burst of about 10 to 15 minutes. A little bit farther off to the west, right here along I-77 near Mountain Park, about ½ inch hail as well. Again, this is something that we can just expect with any of those stronger storms as we go throughout the day today. If we widen out the view a little bit more, you'll notice more storm reports of hail, mostly in our foothills. This is for Wilkes County here. About a ½ inch hail, not too far from the Speedway here in North Wilkesboro. Smaller than that farther off to the west, and near Elkville, they had some hail too. That's the main idea with some of these storms out in the west so far today. It's also really been coming down near Asheville and our southern counties in North Carolina. That's where some of the biggest hail has been happening so far. And right now there are some pretty heavy duty severe thunderstorms ongoing. The worst one in the state right now is right near Shelby. So here's Shelby, there's Earl, Blacksburg, South Carolina. That's the South Carolina border. Not too far from Gardner-Webb University. This is a nasty storm. What I talked about before, how you get those storms out on their own, they're able to really just go wild. This is one of those. We call them a supercell sometimes because they're almost like their own miniature weather system. This is approaching Kings Mountain and I-85 down near the South Carolina border. Those pinks there representing some large hail. And at one point, this storm was estimated to have about 2-inch hail. Not happening at that rate right now, but when we take a live 3D view of the storm, all those pinkish colors, that's the hail getting lofted and suspended up into the cloud. Hail is formed way up in the cloud and it falls if it's not supported. So you need a big gust of wind going upward, we call it an updraft, to help kind of levitate that hail, and it can grow bigger and bigger the stronger the updraft is. Eventually, gravity wins and that hail falls out of the storm, and well, that's how you get a hailstorm, and we are seeing that right now in that part of North Carolina. Let's take a little bit of a closer look up near the Virginia border again, close to home. Patrick County, Virginia getting some lightning out of this. Stokes County seeing some thunder and lightning. And Martinsville, you're seeing the same thing. That severe thunderstorm warning continues until about 7:15. A little bit closer to home, Rockingham County, still dry at the moment. Guilford County is dry too, and really not all that concerning right now as all the rain is out to the west at this point. If we widen out the view just to make sure we've covered all the bases with all the storms across the area. Currently, there are not any severe storms headed for you in Winston, Greensboro, Lexington, Asheboro, or Burlington. However, we should be on alert. If any others form out on the front range of that, we could see them grow pretty quickly. There's not a lot of time to form a lot of these storms. In fact, we're seeing a little bit of redevelopment back in Wilkes County as well, which just goes to show us the atmosphere is wanting to make those storms today, and the conditions are ripe for it. Let's switch over to a Futurecast now. What I'm going to show you is kind of the rough estimate timing of how these storms could move about the area as we go through the next couple of hours. So this is right now, 6:30. Showers and storms scattered about the area. It has a pretty good handle on the placement of where these storms are right now. So that allows me to trust it a little bit more. Let's forward it in time as we go closer to about 7, 8, and 9 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, a lot of these, that first round of weather, should be already pushed off down to our south and to our east. But if we back it up once more, notice for Greensboro, Burlington, and Asheboro, the main action should be closer to 7:30 and 8 o'clock. And then at that point, we kind of get rid of it. Now, there is potential of a little bit more reforming out to the west. But the thing of it is, at that point, we're already losing a lot of the heating of the day once you get past 10 o'clock. That's why our weather alert goes through about 10, and we're not as worried after that because you don't have as much fuel to kind of fire up any of those storms at that point in time. After midnight we go, there could still be some rain and thunder ongoing through a lot of the night tonight, but notice how cool we are at that point. That should limit all that much of problems throughout the rest of the overnight time frame. Tomorrow, it's a beautiful day to start out your Friday morning, cool and crisp and enjoyable, but throughout the day, watching one more time for the afternoon, there's the possibility of a quick moving line of showers and storms. You can almost blink and miss it there. Just rewinding it a little bit. That's your cold front. That's that front that's going to bring cooler air to the area for Mother's Day weekend. I don't expect much to happen with it, but behind it, you'll start to see some clearing and overall just pretty nice weather going into Saturday. Over the next couple of hours, the main threats with this, I wouldn't worry yourself about tornadoes. We're just not going to have them in our area. Wind, hail, sure, those are the concerns, the main ones with any strong or severe storms. Flooding can't completely be ruled out. We've been pretty dry lately. We have a lot of room for the water to go, but that would mostly be if you get the storms to form over the same areas over and over again. We are in a level 2 risk of severe weather through the rest of the night tonight. And then for tomorrow afternoon, we have a level 1 concern of severe weather. That's not a big problem, but something I just want you to be aware of. The weather setup for this is a cold front pushing across the area, low pressure sliding by us, drier air wrapping in. That happens tomorrow night. And then going into the weekend, we should be in good shape for really nice weather on Saturday. But you see what's happening off to the south here? New low pressure is forming right about here. Showers and storms, they'll be on the move. Some of them could clip southern North Carolina by Sunday. And I want you to watch this Futurecast. You see here, Sunday afternoon, it's going to be a close call on Mother's Day. North of Greensboro, dry. South of Greensboro, it's a definite gamble here. Showers and storms are possible and likely too for South Carolina. And then once we get into Monday, the threat of rain, it's just going up. We look to have a pretty soaking Monday outside and into Tuesday as well. We might need to issue a News 2 alert for Monday into Tuesday of next week, just given how much rain that we have across the area. That should be winding down closer to Wednesday of next week, but it will be a good amount of rain, likely a couple of inches on the way early next week. In the meantime, watching for the small chance of a shower or storm tomorrow, dry for Saturday, and then that's the way it stacks out for the rest of the week in your forecast. Before I let you go, just do another reset of the radar screen. Again, the latest active alerts across the area have been fairly minimal. There aren't too many to report to you right now, but we do have a change even in just the last couple of minutes. So not only do we still have that severe thunderstorm warning up here, including Stokes, Patrick County, and parts of Virginia, but a new one has formed over in Wilkes County. So let's zoom in on that storm. This is right there just north of Wilkesboro, and boy, oh boy, has that just blossomed in the last 15 minutes. Spooky stuff. So here's Wilkesboro, just to the north of there. Hail size estimated over an inch right now in that pinkish color. We see lightning starting to happen as well. Wind gusts could be high. We haven't seen too much of that so far today, but there could be some winds gusting as well. Not really worried about tornadoes, as I said, but the hail threat is significant. So let's take a 3D slice here just to see, kind of see what the storm structure is right now. And as you'll notice, there is a good amount of hail forming inside of these storms. The reason is the freezing level inside these clouds today is really close to the ground. So those ice balls can grow a little bit lower levels than they usually can. Let's say in the summertime when it's a lot warmer outside. So bottom line, hunker down. Wilkes County, you have another threat of hail on the way. But across most of the Triad area, you're seeing a gentle rain and possible thunder across the region right now. That's that latest live radar. I'm going to step out of the way so you can get a little look at it. We'll watch the radar for you and have more cut-ins here on WFMY Plus as we go through the rest of the evening. The threat of severe thunderstorms and hail, maybe damaging winds, it continues as we go through the rest of the evening, hopefully winding down closer to 10 o'clock.